Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Gab and Ellie. I'm Ellie.
And I'm Gab.
And I don't know what we're talking about today. Gab loves to surprise me with topics and throw me off.
Well, it's just an intro topic. It's a conversation piece.
It's an icebreaker.
It's an icebreaker. But I am curious to have your perspective on something. I was having a talk with the boys the other day, and we were mainly asking questions, having more questions than answers. So I want to get your perspective on that.
Well, when you say the boys, you're referring to your friends.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's a non-disclosed. I signed a non-disclosure agreement. So, but they were boys because it was their boys' perspective. So, are you okay?
I'm fine. You know, when I start yawning, I can't stop.
No, boy.
It's not because I'm bored. It's I always yawn.
It's okay. So, we were talking and we were asking ourselves, what is, in your opinion, the percentage of guys looking for I would call it a non-traditional relationship, something more open, something more, a little bit different than the traditional rules of the boyfriend-girlfriend, the mainstream rules. And what is the percentage of girls? Do you think that it's the same percentage looking for a non-traditional thing versus a traditional thing? We had a divergence of opinion. And the conversation evolved after that into like the boys, some of the boys being like a little discouraged that the percentage was not equal. There was more boys than girls, and they couldn't find a non-traditional relationship. And they were like, "Where do we go? What we do?" Let's say. So that's it. That was so. I was like, you know what? I'll ask Ali what's the girl's perspective on that, and then what can they do? Like we had a talk. So that was. I wanted to not brief you and have you react live. So what do you think?
Well, that's a toughie because I feel like most people's presumptions would say that the percentage is higher in men who are looking for non-traditional types than women. So I feel like most people would say that. Is that what your friend said?
And now we had a divergence of opinion.
Really?
Yeah. Some people like me were confused. I don't have enough data. I don't know. Some people were thinking guys, and some people were thinking girls. Girls are more game. So it depends. Like I don't know. What do you think?
I agree. I don't think we have enough data. I will speak of my experience and people I've known and a woman I've known and women who I could definitely say there's a pool of women that have stated that they would like to find something more open, that they are game to, and then kind of when that situation does come up, there's a little bit of issues that arise in terms of, actually, no, I don't like this. This is not what I want, and I want something a little bit more monogamous or traditional.
But your data is a group of women, and then my data is a group of men, and that happened on my side too. So,
well, now that I'm thinking back to other men that I've dated too, there were men who were pretty open, who were also looking. Actually, no, that's not. It's hard to say. When I think back to some men that I've dated, a few of them were very much open for something non-traditional at first and then wanted to have something more serious, as in like marriage, kids, stuff like that.
So with time, they were shifting to
yeah. So like even before getting into the relationship, it sounded like they wanted something non-traditional, you know, just like a girl they can fuck around with and have fun with other girls and just be a free man until it was time to like lock it down and like get married and have kids and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have enough data.
So we don't have enough data. I agree. Like it's let's assume there's an equal amount. Since we don't have enough data and we're confused, and in the small survey that I did, it was like basically all over the place.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Because I think it also depends on the two individuals and the energy between them and what they are looking for and how the vibe is and what the energy is and the understanding between them. Because I mean, you never know. You can meet someone that you've never thought of being open. I mean, you've thought about it, but it wasn't necessarily something that you were committed to finding for yourself. So you could kind of swing both ways, like be in a monogamous relationship or a non-monogamous or whatever. And depending on who you meet can bring that out of you. Does that make sense?
It does. Yes, it evolves with time depending on the person and the person's.
Yeah.
So let's assume there's an equal amount of girls and guys looking for an more open type of deal. The second part of the discussion was really more interesting because like they have a hard time finding it. Either girls looking for boys with a more open, more honest type of thing, or boys looking for girl. They have a hard time finding it because mostly what they find on Tinder is a more traditional deal than what they are comfortable with.
Have they went on Seeking?
So that was what I brought.
That was a segue. Check the link in the description below this video.
Yeah, but it's true that it's the thing that we use. But to be honest, that's what I told them. Like, it's stupid that you can be more honest on this platform than this other platform. Like, why can't you be more honest everywhere? But somehow it is. People are more honest on Seeking.
Well, people are more honest generally on non-traditional dating apps. So I know, I mean, there's apps like Field and so on, which I think maybe some of your friends have tried. Like, what is their experience on those apps that are not like Seeking, which are more based on, I don't know, what would be like transactions or whatever you want to say, but more based on like different types of relationships, genders, experiences, things like that.
I never heard of any success on any other app because there's not enough people. It's the network effect. You need a lot of people on an app for the app to work. If there's not enough people, then you don't have enough play time. Like you reach the end of the people super fast, and then you're like, okay, so I'll go back on the other app. But let's say with our experience on Seeking, and then we told our friend, and from their experience on Seeking, looks to me like they were more being honest on what they were wanting, and the other people that they were talking to were also being more honest, saying things like, well, look, I'm looking for a date, but I want it to have fun, and I want to feel like a queen, so I don't want to have like any discussion over who pays the tab, you know, like I want to be treated tonight, and
as she should.
I didn't say she. And the other person, let's call him he, would say, Sure, that's what I wanted, that's what I like to do anyway, and blah blah blah. Now that type of conversation looks to me like it's more honest. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, telling the guy straight up, look, man, you're paying for my dinner, okay? I want to be treated like a queen tonight, and I'm not going out with you unless dinner is paid for and I am treated well. Like, I don't know. Have you ever had someone say that to you on Tinder?
No, but if I had to guess, it would be frowned upon on Tinder.
Oh yeah, it would be a total like turn off. Be like, block this person right now.
As it is acceptable on this other platform with this other group of human. Well, why that is? Like, isn't that stupid? If that is the truth, and if, let's say, in a place where you're allowed to say anything you want, wouldn't that be like more, like, just better?
Yes. Actually, I'm thinking now about apps like Grindr and so on, with more within the gay community, and I've heard, I don't know, like you guys can shed some insight on this topic. What I remember hearing is that on those apps with those communities, they are more open, they are more honest, they are more generally, you know, into looking for open type, not obviously non-traditional types of relationships, which is almost like a problem for them, because there's a lot that are looking for more traditional types, and it's hard to find.
And then that is frowned upon on Grindr, supposedly.
Like looking for a traditional type?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked a gay friend one time, because I was like, so you met a bunch of guys on there, and it was super direct, right? And yes, and he was telling me how direct it is, and I just couldn't believe the, like,
transparency?
Or the least amount of words possible to have sex, like down to 10 words, and then no need to talk. Like, it was direct, but also very kind of like two guys chatting to like set up a beer. It's like game, okay? Now to 8 o'clock, that's it.
And that was like guaranteed sex.
And then it was sex. But then I was like, did you, for example, spend the night and wanting to hang out with him the next day? And he was like, yeah. And what was happening? And he was like, he got told things like, no, man, that's not what I'm looking for. It's just like laughing at him almost. I was like, oof. Okay, so that's a little the opposite, like the extreme opposite of Tinder. But yeah, like they have another system.
They have different rules.
Yeah, like when it's just boys, it's just there's no girls to balance to even the.
Well, I wonder if it's like that in the lesbian community too. It's not just gay men. I don't know. Something
we have
teach
to,
us.
Yeah,
let us know what
we
you
have
think.
to investigate. But if I do have an opinion that people should be more honest. Like, I should have been more honest way back when I was on Tinder. I felt I couldn't because, like, first of all, I didn't know what I really wanted. But second of all, I felt like it was not well received.
Well,
so I had to dress
too.
it.
I mean, I was in a long-term relationship for a while, so once I started seriously online dating in my slutty years, as you would say, I was still searching for what I was still trying to figure out what I wanted, but I knew that I didn't want a committed monogamous relationship, but I didn't know how that would look. So I was honest in the sense that, you know, I said that, and I was interested in getting to know people and, you know, just be friends and take it from there and have sex and experience things together and like build a nice bond. But as far as that's as far as it went. And then I kind of, as time went by, I got more, I solidified what I wanted, but I never really got the chance to tell anyone, because I think I had just met you in the time that I kind of knew what I was looking for, where it was like, I want 2 to 3 men, you know, not from Montreal, that I have some sort of sexual, emotional relationship with, and you know, we see each other from time to time, and when we do, like, it was very specific, you know.
Yeah, I remember I got that speech.
Experience that, and I didn't act. Well, I guess you're the first guy that I ever really voiced that to, but then you're like 3 men in one, so yeah.
Plus, that was your Montreal years, and with me, it was more like, les éboulements, Mexico, Brazil. I'm going on an adventure.
Yeah.
So forget 2 to 3 men in every city. That's too many men.
Now it's women.
And now it's women. But I was looking for a bisexual girl to name as my queen of my empire. And then we would give her anything, and then a little pile of money to have fun with the girls. Somehow, like, you fit the casting perfectly.
Well, that's it. It was like our energies were the same.
Yes.
I don't know. We got lucky.
Part of, like, where we were, or where I can talk about myself, where I was at that point was like, I had to figure out exactly what I wanted through, like, saying almost that, but not exactly that. Like, I want an open relationship, but that's not really what I wanted. I wanted to have sex with my girlfriend and other girls. That's really what I wanted. But why didn't I say that? Well, I just, like, I couldn't. So I was like, that I can't say, so maybe we can have sex with other people. But
well, for you, in your experience, what percentage you would say of the time where you said that to a girl, like, I want an open thing, and she was down versus not down?
Most of the time they were down until they weren't. But I said it, like, super early. I didn't, like, wait.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't say it, like, on Tinder and on the first exchange.
Yeah.
But, like, for sure, if there was sex, I was saying, like, right after sex, you know. Like,
oh, so you would have sex with her and then tell her?
Like, if, like, yes, because some of the time, if the conversation came before sex, I would say before sex.
Okay.
But it's like, sometimes you're on a date and you're not talking about that, and then, like, you're in the sex, you know, like, train, so it's click, 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 goes that way. You're not gonna say, wait, before you do, I have to tell you that I'm a non-traditional.
But then you would have sex, and then you would say, oh, by the way,
yes,
like, we just had sex, but I'm just letting you know that, like, this, like, I'm into open stuff. After she's, like, giving you her flower.
I give her mine too.
It's not a flower. It's more like a weed.
Well, yes, but that's what I said. Like, I learned through mistakes, so I was. But sometimes you just don't have time, you know, or like the thing just didn't present themselves. But I didn't wait too long. But I said back then that I wanted an open relationship, which kind of meant having sex with another girl, which is not really exactly what I wanted. So part of it was figuring out what I wanted. Mm-hmm. But the second part was, like, to kind of have, like, trust enough to just, like, fuck it, I'll say it. Like, it's, at some point, it's having the belief that, like, you might as well find someone that it fits. Like, it's not, doesn't have to be, like, that girl that's in front of you that night, you know? Yeah. But, yeah, like, it was a 2-part process for me. But then had I known that on the other app, which was almost the same price, I could have been honest directly on my profile and have the talk, like, really upfront, and maybe she would have helped me figure out what I wanted in that open world, like, a little bit like you did. Well, that is love. Then I would have went on the other app. And that's what I told all my friends, like, go on Seeking. You can be honest there. Just be honest there. Like, you can't be honest on Tinder. Well, fuck Tinder.
There's 2 things I want to say before I forget. Hold on. The guy I dated, and then guys on Seeking. Okay. So, in my previous dating experience, in my slutty years with guys that I met, there were a few times where the guy was, like, super into what I wanted to, like, an open thing. Like, we'd have fun together. We'd experience, kind of like what we do, you know? Maybe he was into other stuff too, like me going out and having sex with a guy and then coming home and, like, telling him about it, and then we'd have sex. Like, stuff like that. But, you know, those relationships didn't work out. Well, I shouldn't call it a relationship. I wasn't looking for a relationship, but those, like, they didn't last longer than they did for whatever reason, for, you know, life circumstances, just not looking for the same things or whatnot. And now when I speak to them, because sometimes we like keep in touch here and there, just like what's new in life and so on. They do tell me, and most of them are single still, that, you know, it's really hard to find, I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's hard to find someone like me who was kind of open and into what they were looking for, and that kind of like what we have going on. And yeah, and they're like, it's tough out there.
I agree. It's very hard. But would you agree that with me that they don't go on seeking and tell the truth?
Yes. So that was my next point.
Yeah.
I do vouch for the platform, for sure, in that you can, like, we have friends, single friends of ours who've done it looking for like a one, like we look at it, we go on as a couple, but we do have single male friends who went on and have asked for what they wanted and who've received that. But I do think it is also a bit more challenging for the single male going on there, like finding what they want, because it's very much like in our case, girls I think are looking for the experience. They're like, oh, that's cool. Like, I didn't even think of doing that, or like, she seems cool. Like, they seem like a cool couple. Like, yeah, I'm down for the experience. But when it's like guy and girl, it's more of that like transaction that the girl might be looking for, and then the guy gets like, well, that's, so it's hard to, like, the guy, there's certain criteria that like the guy needs to be ready to fulfill, you know, to get to the next step. Because I know some people who have had really successful relationships on that website that started out as very much like a transactional situation, and then has evolved into a like lifelong, loving, incredible relationship. So, you know, you have to be ready for to invest time and invest like money maybe, and yeah, but you know, you got to put the work in. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I agree that it's not easy, but when I was looking at our two or more, but two that I have in mind, friends that went on seeking and created a profile, we did help them a lot because they didn't know what to write. And so part of the thing is figuring out, like, what do you really want? And then, like, is it cool? Is it a good deal for the other person too? So one of them was, like, very much using seeking like Tinder and, like, relationship. But we know him, that's not really what he wants. And the other was treating it like a, you know, like a bar de dansers, like a stripper bar. Like, how much? When in fact, I know him. That's not what he looks for. He looks for a girlfriend that wouldn't work, and that would, like, he would take care of, but she would help him with small things that he has a hard time doing for himself, which is like just normal thing, going to the grocery. He
wants like a partner that can support him in his life.
And he makes money. And so if he had said that instead of how much, that's what he would have had.
Well, that's it. It's almost like a job. I don't know if it's a job application, or I like to call it, let's call it an agreement. It's a contract. I know it sounds really unromantic, but when you're in a relationship with someone, and the word agreement is used a lot in the ethical non-monogamy community, you know, like, what's your agreement? You know, you have agreement, you have a contract, the agreement can change at any point. A partner can, you know, say anytime they want that they want to change the agreement, and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, you start thinking of a relationship as like a list of clauses and rules and things and non-negotiables and stuff like that, which I know it sounds unromantic again, but I think, you know, that's, I find it an interesting way to think about it. And you could really, like, you just sit down, you really think about what it is that you want. Like, you're spending all this time with someone, and your time is so precious. So precious. And you're only on this earth one time in your life. You want to invest it well, and you want to be treated well, and you want to have fun, and you want to be respected, and you want to feel love, and you want to give love, and in the best way possible. So, like, what does that look like for you? If, like, write it down. Write it down. And as crazy as something may seem to you that you're looking for in someone, like, if that's what you want, that's what you want. I guarantee there's somebody out there. You just gotta, like, state it. Put it in the universe.
That was such a beautiful motivational speech.
Was it?
Yes, it was. It got me, like, almost fired up. Like, I've got to create my account right now.
Well, you write stuff down.
I do all the time. I have my little book. It's not next to me.
Actually, I remember now, a few months before I met you, with my best friend, we had written down, she made me write down one day, like, all the qualities I was looking for in a guy. And I was like, I'm not really looking for someone, but, like, okay, this is funny, whatever, it's fun, let's just do it. And I wish I still had that list. I'm not sure where it is, but I remember writing a whole bunch of stuff down, and I remember going over it with you, like, after we had met, and I had told you, like, oh, we did this exercise one time, and there were a lot of qualities on there that you had checked off.
Wow. You weren't describing me in that list.
No.
You were describing some kind of, like, CFO of a company, well-dressed, like, on schedule, like 6 a.m., wake up, gym, work 7 to 5,
Yeah,
then it's
that
oyster
was the
wine and
conversation we had. It's oysters and wine.
So it was like
5 à 7.
it was definitely not me, like,
Well,
all
it was
artist,
like-
weird entrepreneur thing.
You had checked off a lot of those boxes, but I mean, you've manifested it in a different way. Like, there are definitely
yes.
some things that
There
you
were some
have.
things. But I remember, like, I was reading the description of the guy, and I was like, I know that guy. I'm his boss. That's true. I mean, I remember it was, like, kind of VP. He was not, like, entrepreneur, weird,
No.
and...
He was like a workaholic.
Yeah, like, so... But it was fine. It was like, I love that guy. He works hard,
Well, I don't like that guy anymore. I like you.
Well, now you have something different.
Did you ever write it down? Or you've just had it in your head?
I did write some stuff down. So in my bucket list, there was sleeping with 2 girls. And then I edited to say, sleep with 2 girls without paying. Because I was thinking that was too easy. Like, it could be a bucket list item if you just go do it. But I don't remember if I ever written down, here's what the girl of my dream looks like. But I did the exercise in my head with, like, the subsequent relationship I had and what I went well and what I went wrong. And I was like, I'm looking for fun. Like, first of all, like, fighting as a couple, yeah, not for me. That I refuse.
There's some fighting.
Yes, but you're totally right.
It's a whole other episode.
It is. Oh my god. We've been chatting for 30 minutes. Should we do a little more and close this, or we should do a whole another episode?
A whole other episode.
No,
Well, do you have any closing remarks?
Do I? I think I summed it up when I said, like, I think it's a 2-part process. I think I also, like, to the first part of the discussion, if there were more of one sex or the other, I'm, like, confused. I don't know. So, but some people will not agree to that, I know, because some people didn't agree. Like, we were 3 or 4 and we all didn't really agree. So it seems to me an interesting thing, because people don't agree. So usually you have an interesting thing on your hand at that place. And I don't have, like, a really closing remark. Like, I don't think we have figured out everything yet. So it's a process, and that's like kind of January 2023 where we are in our head with that process.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised that we talk in a year and we're like, you know what? We were a little off on this point or that
Probably.
point. So I don't have any closing remark in, more than like, let's talk about this more. Like as time go by, maybe we'll change our perspective.
Absolutely. And I think people change their minds too all the time, you know, about what they want and what they're looking for. And I'll go back to, it depends like who your partner is and how safe you feel in your relationship and what kind of stuff you're into, because someone can be very closed, and then depending on the partner, it's just like there's an incredible kind of vibe, and you're all of a sudden interested in like exploring sexually with that partner. Like you really don't know what you will bring out in each other. So I think that's a big piece of the project too. And those that are open now, I mean, they might meet someone and be like, wow, like this is the love of my life. Like I only want to be with this person, and all of a sudden I want to have kids with this person. Like you never know. So yeah.
So they can change their agreement.
You can always change your agreement.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, in the ethical
Remember
slut community, non-monogamous thingy, like
Yeah.
it is very big in San Francisco. Well, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yay.
Good chat. Well,
Okay.
let's go for dinner.
Yay! Yes.
Yay.